Sponsored by Prop Juice, squeezing profits out of every wager. It's AI worth the squeeze, and Skybox Sports Network. Get your dream sports ticker and live odds boards at Skybox Sports Network. Welcome in, everybody. It's week 6 in the NFL. This is Man versus the Machine. We focus on the intersection of expert-based capping and AI-generated projections in this fast-growing world of sports betting. I'm Steve Shellman, and this is Brian Reiner. We'll be taking you through the NFL slate each week using a combination of AI and expert capper opinion to make winning picks. Brian is a world-renowned poker player and has been capping games well before the boom of online sports gambling. I've spent the majority of my career using quantitative models to explain, forecast, and predict human behavior. Such events like riots, coups, assassinations, terrorism, mass protests, and international conflicts. My team and I have been building automated data and modeling pipelines for the Defense Department, now the Department of War, for over 15 years, and we recently repurposed all of our technology and turned it on the sports world to forecast game outcomes and player stats, and those insights are now packaged in an application we call Prop Juice. Today, we're going to discuss the various betting angles from both the human expert side and an AI data-driven perspective, and hopefully we're going to make more informed picks regarding spreads, money lines, totals, and some of our human machine-generated prop picks. Brian's going to talk about the key issues affecting teams and players and how that impacts lines and angles. I'm going to show you what the models are saying about the latest game and player projections for the games of the week. We're going to focus on a few games and use our insights from both his side and our side to give our fans the best bets of the week. Okay, each week Brian's going to do his research on a set of games that we've already agreed on in advance, and then I'm going to bring the Prop Juice app to bring those data-driven insights to the same matchups. We're going to discuss the various angles, risks, and potential return on investment across that slate. All right, so we're going to give out some picks each week and simultaneously hopefully make the prop user base smarter on how we utilize the app to make better picks. So before we discuss this week's actions, though, we got to recap a little bit of last week and Brian's crazy wine adventures down in Chile that kind of ended with potential infection and ended up in the hospital a little bit. So why don't we get to that story and then talk a little bit about what we cashed in on and what we missed last week. How you doing, Brian? So glad to have you back, by the way.
I know. I missed it last week. Yeah, it was pretty adventurous down there. Had a little bit of a situation with some rocks versus Brian, and Brian didn't win. So you could add me to the injury report with the rest of the NFL. About half of it looks like. Yeah, so it was, I had a little bit of an infection when I got back, and ended up going to the doctor, had an enlarged spleen. So it's been a pretty adventurous week, but, I'm ready to get back into the action. We ended up with a good week last week. Came on, hit some strong ones, Jacksonville coming on to pull out a crazy game, like at halftime, I would have said that game was dead. A little bit of a wild week, the NFL is topsy-turvy, and I think the injuries just have such a huge effect on games that, it makes it a little bit tougher, the guys that, a lot of people like to focus on, the running backs are out, the quarterbacks are out. But you know what? The safeties, the corners, the nickels, those guys being hurt and out that are in that starting rotation has a huge effect. We saw some receivers go off, but, who were they playing against? They're playing against college kids, basically, and even guys off the practice squad. So, I would say, is the best advice moving forward, especially in these middle weeks with a lot of key guys out, is, keep an eye on the injury report, man. It has a huge effect on the games.
Yeah, we got Kyler Murray out potentially for this week. He's questionable, right? He was out of practice for second day in a row. And also, who else did we say was out before we started the show?
Lamar's definitely out still.
Practice. Yeah, he's out. So that's 2 days in a row.
Kyler being out was pretty substantial. So, they were already down 2 of their backs, with Benson and Connor out. They're a mash unit, and so is Baltimore. So, I think there's, you can take advantage of those things too, though. So, don't be afraid of, some of those lines moving up, because they're moving up for a reason.
Yeah. We had a pretty good weekend. We had the Rams and the Cardinals and the Chargers, unfortunately, on a lot of our parlays. That killed a lot of our parlays at that Cardinals debacle. And I don't know why the Rams had like 5 chances to win that game, right? In terms of like the fumble,
absolutely brutal,
and the missed extra point, and that field goal that went in that hit the upright for the 49ers. So that was just a crazy game. But overall, our spreads remain very accurate. I mean, those were the 3 big ones we lost. We're 9-5. And we correctly predicted the money line upsets over the Jags. I'm sorry, the Jags over the Chiefs and the Bucks over the Seahawks. So we did really well. That was actually our prop juice pick of the week that ran on all the Skybox tickers too. The Bucks plus 3.5. So that won. So it was a great way to kind of start the positivity there. And then on Monday, we cashed a 9-leg prop juice parlay that really focused on the top passing leaders. And so $40 cashed over $1,000, and we got
very nice.
A lot of great,
very nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, it was top 9 passing quarterbacks of the weekend, really. And then we had a lot of our other great calls, like the Colts and the Commanders covering, and then the Vikings winning outright across the pond. So we did really well, considering just the parlays keep getting killed. We keep picking 1 or 2 bad guys on a parlay leg that takes the whole thing down. But we're making up for it on our straight bets and some of our smaller parlays where we got 2 or 3 teams on them. So we're doing well. So reminder, From the Cave, Man versus Machine, sponsored by Prop Juice, AI worth the squeeze. Prop Juice is a full suite AI sports pick app delivering data-driven game picks and prop bets right to your mobile phone and favorite web browser. Prop Juice can sync your bets across multiple sports books, recommend the top dog of the day, and break down multiple models of each week's game's action all season long. Sign up at propjuice.ai. Get access to this AI-driven app before anyone else. Sign up for your platinum level subscription at propjuice.ai. AI worth the squeeze. If you put code SKYBOX10 in at your sign up, you'll get 10% off that platinum level subscription. Again, code SKYBOX10 gets you 10% off at propjuice.ai off that platinum level subscription. Okay, Brian, so let's jump into this week's action, and let's start with a couple of teams that we've not spent so much time on so far this year. The Saints got their first win on Sunday. Spencer Rattler got his first win as an NFL quarterback, and the Patriots are coming off that huge upset victory over division rival Buffalo on Sunday night. So Drake May's playing out of his mind. I mean, check out these throws. He's rolling out to his right. He gets flushed right by the pass rush. And then right here, he just tosses a perfect ball to Diggs down the sideline. He looks like a younger, more athletic Brady back there behind center. And that defense is balling with acquisitions at corner with the addition of Carlton Davis and Milton Williams as a pass rusher. And their homegrown draft pick, Christian Gonzalez, is also playing well there at corner. So who do you got down there in New Orleans, where Brady seemed to get beat a lot by that noise-filled Superdome?
Yeah, I like the Patriots here. I mean, I haven't been, I just think the New Orleans is, it's a program. I think they picked up a great coach this year. I just think, until he gets his people and his players, they need a quarterback bad. I followed Rattler when he was with Atlanta, and pretty closely, and he's just not a good NFL quarterback. So I think the Patriots, it's 3.5, like those are the kind of games that, if they play like they did against Buffalo, this is going to be a blowout. But I just think the Patriots cover. It's 3.5. I'd buy it down to 3, and then push it to 6.5. That's what I did. That's what I advise my private clients to do as well. I just think, Drake May has really looked good. I thought he was a good quarterback, but he's an above average quarterback. He was like 4. He's not throwing the ball a ton either, like 17 to 20 passes, but he's like, I think he had a 150 something passer rating last week or week before. And then 101 after that. He threw a little bit more, but I think they had to, based on, Buffalo was going to score some points. So I think he had to throw the ball a little bit more than normal. So, I think New England is a standout here. I like them a lot. The only thing I don't like about their defense, I'm glad they made a couple of changes, is I was looking at some key defensive stats, and, they allow the most targets to a tight end. The good thing is New Orleans suffering with tight ends, so that should help them this week. They have the most targets to a tight, they allow the most targets to a tight end as well. So it's about their defense being able to come up and cover, having the nickel or the corners or the linebackers is what they usually end up happening is they're dropping one back, trying to cover that, cross pattern with the tight ends. So that's kind of a stat that stood out to me. I think New Orleans could take advantage of that a little bit.
Kincaid and Knox didn't just go off as, massively.
Yeah. So, yeah. And it's like all of the worst categories that they're in, they're literally worse in the NFL against tight ends. Both yards, receptions, and targets. And then the one thing they got to get better about is their tackling. They're the sixth worst, receiving. Yards after the catch they're struggling with. So, but I just think it's in New Orleans. I think that's the only reason that, the line's 3.5. I think this is in New England. It's probably closer to 7. So, the Dome is a difficult place to play in, but I'm going to take the Patriots. What's the AI say this week on this game? Any surprises or
same
just
thing?
Kind of
not really any surprises. Yeah. I mean, we've got one spread that goes against the Patriots, but by 0.05. So Saints win by 0.05 points according to one spread, and the rest of the spreads are heavy pats. -6, -8, -12, -6. Our consensus is -6.5, -6.8. Yeah. -6 and -6. So pretty much -6 across the board of our spreads. Our money line gives them a 0.72 chance to win, which is more than the market gives them at 0.62. So I'll probably, it's in New Orleans in that Superdome, rookie quarterback, first time there. I'll probably go Pats -2.5 and probably put some money lines on some parlays. But I'll probably put in a straight at -6.5 because I think they can probably pull that out. But I'm not going to risk that on a 7 or 8 leg parlay with a bunch of other teams that I think are probably going to win too. So, I think they win it. But probably closer. I don't know, 3.5. Like you said, I don't like that hook.
Yeah, I just refreshed Skybox. I was looking to see if anyone was offering a 3, and you're just not getting it. So I think the steam maybe even pushes this to 4.
What's the best money line? Just if somebody wanted to take the money line, what's the best money line on Skybox right now?
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It looks like 190. No, there's a 189 at Fanatics. Looks like the best number. The most are like 190, 192, 193 at Caesars. DraftKings 192. So it looks like
185. I got 185 earlier on the Pats. So
yeah. So that's what makes me think the steam. That's what makes me think the steam's going to 4.
And so it's going to go to 4. It might go to 4.5 before it's over.
It could. Yeah, I'm going to take like some 6.5 squeezes, and then I'm going to buy down to 3. I think it could be a field goal game if the fans are rowdy and May struggles in the Dome. But I just don't see New Orleans beating them. Unfortunately, this would have been my game this week. Unfortunately, I'm out of Circus Survivor, which was I had the Rams on everything. And of course we saw that game. So, and it was great. I was probably set up better this year than I ever have been. I had almost all the playoff teams still left. I was using teams that I didn't think were making it. So unfortunately I'm out. So no 18 million for me this year, but it would have been my pick though. Pats would have been my pick this week.
Wow. All right. So, don't forget to get that ticker for your man cave or your bar. Just go to Amazon, have one delivered right to your doorstep. Use the discount code PropJuice at checkout. Get 10% off your purchase. It's that easy. 10% off your odds, news, and scores that keep you informed all season long on Skybox Sports Network. That's where we just got the best money line of the day over there at Fanatics. So just continue to kind of take a look at Skybox Sports Network and maybe grab a new ticker or a new odds board. We've seen some of our customers flaunting some new stuff in their caves and their work environments. So we're excited about new purchases coming through from the Prop Juice user community over there at Skybox Sports. So y'all keep doing that. We appreciate it. Let's go.
I got some cool pics from some guys. I got some cool pictures from some guys when I was in Chile of like setting up their stuff with their boards all setting up. Everyone loves it. So Skybox doing it, especially with the nice 10% off. He was stoked. Yeah.
Nice, very cool. All right, Brian. So let's take a look at this Rams-Ravens game. The Ravens are on a downward slide that does not appear to be letting up this week or anytime soon. Lamar didn't practice again today. It's 2 days in a row. They got the Rams coming in, and then they got that bye. So it looks like they're just trying to get to that bye week. They've done a series of intriguing roster moves this week, so including the NFL brothers getting together and Johnson and edge rusher Owe and the 2027 seventh round pick to the Chargers, and Jim sending back safety Alohi Gilman, I believe is how you pronounce his name, with a 2026 fifth round pick. So basically, edge rusher for a safety. The Ravens can't rush or defend the pass, so not sure how that really helps a lot, but okay. They also signed CJ Chauncey Gardner to the practice squad this week, which is kind of interesting. Meanwhile, the Rams come in with that lethal Stafford, DePuka, and Devontae passing attack, balanced by Kyron Williams in that run game. They're also coming off that game they should have won 5 times. I mean, it was destiny for the Niners to win that game, right? I mean, Corum drops that first half fumble. I was like, that's horrible, right? And then KW drops the third down conversion, right? That would have been, they could have tied it up then. No,
missed extra point. I mean, it was a travesty.
The Niners kicked the upright and it bounces in, right? I mean, that's when you know it's destiny. So I think the Rams are sick from how that game ended, and they just want to run through a brick wall to get the next win. So I can't imagine them losing this game, but who you got and why, Brian?
I love the Rams. This is my number 1 pick this week. I absolutely love this game. I hope Cooper Rush attended a church service this year because he's going to get absolutely destroyed. I think the Ravens have given up. And the reason I say that is, I heard some rumblings, and I'm not sure this has even been reported, but Mark Andrews might end up in Tampa Bay. I know there's some behind the scenes work.
I have not heard that.
Yeah, no one's heard that. I got that from a source inside the NFL. He played with Baker at Oklahoma, and there's nobody reporting it. I actually I didn't post it because I was asked not to. I didn't put it on Twitter or anything, but I will. Is it?
Yeah, it's on Sports Illustrated.
I lost you. It is.
It just says
I got the information on Tuesday.
Buccaneers linked a blockbuster trade for Baker Mayfield's college roommate. A proposed trade between the Bucs and the Ravens would reunite Baker with his offensive weapon. I mean, I guess he's just got Cade Otton down there. Really, is only tight end, right? And they're used to being, having tight end friendly down there. They used to have Gronk down there, so. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, man. That would make the Bucs a huge Super Bowl contender, I think.
Yeah. Hey, pal, I want to put it out there. I did not tell anybody. I kept this close to the vest. In fact, you can see the surprise on Steve's face. I didn't even mention it to Steve, so don't start texting me. And, I didn't tip off Sports Illustrated, so don't run that shit my way, baby. It was not me. I kept that close because I was excited because I think another good tight end down in Tampa. With the offense they run, they can run a 2 tight end set. I think it helps them. With Evans still, Godwin's back, and he looked okay, coming back for being out so long. But Evans is still hurt. So anyway, I thought it could be something. I thought I could take advantage of it. I think Baltimore's given up on the season. And the only reason I say that is, when's the last time you've seen a Baltimore defense in the worst 8 in every defensive category? I mean, passing yards to quarterbacks, attempts, completions, rushing yards, rushing TDs, carries to running backs. I mean, if you look on my spreadsheet all the way down on everything that I track, they are literally from the worst or second worst all the way to the 8th worst in every single defensive category. They're in trouble. And when when I first heard that, I said, you know what? They've given up on the season. Now they're just going to angle for next year to pick up draft picks. I mean, Andrews has probably had the best start to a season that he's had in a long time. I mean, after that ball drop in the playoffs last year, I wondered if he was going to, mentally be ready. And he's looked absolutely incredible. And I think Baltimore head office is looking at this and saying, hey, we're never going to get more value for Mark Andrews as we are going to get right now. So I see that trade happening. My source said the trade is likely. he didn't want to go anything more than that, but he said it was likely. So look for that to happen.
Okay. It did look like Kyle Hamilton was going to play this week. He was limited in participation, so they might get him back. But it looks like, Roquan Smith didn't practice again. Marlon Humphrey's still out. So their defense is just really battered back there, along with Lamar. It's just, I think it would be rough against any team, but against the Rams coming off the loss that they had,
Yep.
So what do we got in the
three
AI?
tackles too? Yeah, I mean, 3 tackles are out too. I mean, that's what I said with Cooper Rush, man. That Rams defense, they're going to feast on that boy. He's going to be wishing he was back in Dallas after this game, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's the AI saying this game?
One of the tackles
no surprise.
One of the tackles actually practiced. Jones practiced, so he might actually play. But yeah, I hear you. The AI, we got the AI is giving the Ravens a chance to win this game in a couple of places, but they were basically all green on the Ravens last week. So those injuries, it's not detecting those injuries right now. We got a new injury model in the works. We're building it this week. We started building it last week. So hopefully that'll be coming into fruition. We'll be able to deal with the injuries a little bit easier.
Yeah, a lot of positive feedback, Steve. A lot of positive feedback on having that injury, on the Prop Juice site now. People really like, oh, that's awesome. I don't have to go to like 5-6 places to see it all. So, kind of putting all that information together we're growing, we're scaling, we're making it better.
The next iteration of this is we're estimating the number of points every player's value is. So, not every player, but if you're an offensive lineman, we'll estimate a value for offensive lineman. And if you're a name brand, you'll get if you're Tristan Wirfs, you'll get a specific point value. Quarterbacks will get values. Receivers, safeties, defensive backs will get values. So we're playing with how to do it and how to make it the most accurate. But it's coming along. We're going to get it in there, and it should make everything better. In terms of this game right now, though, we got the money line, even with the AI, not necessarily considering all these injuries, we still have the Rams winning this game. So 0.63 money line, and our consensus spread's minus 5.3, but our biggest spread is over 10. So there's a couple of those spreads that are leaning towards some of the historical models that we generate, like the ELO model, the power ranking, because the Ravens are so high in the power rankings and they're starting to come down because they're losing, but they would have to lose a few more games to get to like middle of the pack in the power ranking. So that power ranking model still has them, by a point or two over the Rams, but that's not going to happen with all these injuries, right? So anyway, I'm probably taking 7.5, right? I'm definitely taking 6.5. And I'm probably taking 7.5 in some places. Where's the skybox on the line, and where's the best price for minus 7.5? Do we have any minus 7s out there? Are they all minus 7.5?
No, they're all 7. Yeah, they're all 7.5. I mean, I'm actually going to squeeze this to 9.5, and then I'm going to take 7. I just hate those hooks. Like things happen. Yeah. I just don't think. I think this. To be totally honest with you, I think this is going to be a blowout. I mean, I think that the only thing that happens is you start getting up big, and then they rest a bunch of players. There's so many injuries going on, they don't want to lose anybody, and then the end of the game, what happens. But I squeezed it up to 9.5, 10 on a couple parlays. I was just looking at it. It looks like it's 7.5 across the board. There's no one moving that. Just trying to look for the best money line. Yeah, it looks like nothing's really changed a ton.
Money line probably has no value on the Rams, though.
Yeah, no, it's just too big. But anyway, I think the Rams blow them out. I do. I'm going to actually, you get a nice number at 10. Much better than even at 9.5.
Yeah, something that I've been winning at that might be of interest in this game is sometimes I'm nervous about taking the totals of the game because of the opponent, right? Who are they playing? Right. Are they going to be able to score enough points to get this total over what it says, right? So you might be interested in just taking the team total on the Rams. Like you could do a, minus 6.5 and a over 19.5 points, right? And so, because we got every score we have is 22, 25, 27, 25, and 25. So every score we have generated from our models has them going over 20 points, specifically over 22.5. So you can literally, take a over on 20 or 21.5 on the Rams, plus that -2.5 or -6.5 on the Rams. Nice little 2-leg parlay to try to get your juice up without having to bite that 7.5 hook. You know, if you think the Rams are definitely going to score 20 against this Ravens battered up D, then that's a nice little kind of ad. So, you know, I've got one of those in, so we'll see how it does. But I think
I like that total too. I think they're going to put some points up on the board. And I also like, you know, I don't play a lot of props, but most of the props I have all have, you know, the offensive weapons for the Rams. I think, you know, Stafford's going over. I think Nakua's going over. I just think they're
65% probability Devontae Adams goes over 63.5.
Yeah.
And then I got let's see what Puka is. Puka, I got him 72% going over 97 yards in this game.
Man. I know it. I mean, I just don't see who's going to cover them. I mean, they're beat from A to Z on defense. I mean, it's a mash unit over there. They're going to struggle. They're going to struggle this week. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you look at our Tutty predictor, if you guys haven't checked out the Tutty cast inside of our app, I'll just tell you real quick for this game who we got touchdowns for. For this game right here, we got Devontae Adams. He's got a 68% chance to score a touchdown. Derrick Henry's got that's a different game. No, that's its game, right? Derrick Henry. He's got a 71% chance to score a touchdown. So if anybody scores for the Ravens, it might be him. Kyron Williams has got a 63% chance to score a touchdown. And Stafford's got a projection of over 2 passing touchdowns. So
I would be surprised if Henry doesn't have like 20 plus rushing attempts. I mean, Cooper threw 3 picks last. Yeah, Cooper threw 3 picks last week. They're not going to let him just sit back there and toss the ball. And if they get down early, I mean, it could get ugly. And that would be the only reason I could see Henry not getting 20 attempts. But early in the game to try to stay in it, they're going to feed him, man. They're just going to let him run. So I think he probably goes over. The Rams defense is very, very good. So, you know, Henry's a beast too. You know, I think he gets his yards.
I got Henry under 67.5 yards, 68% chance of going under 68.5.
Bold, Steve. Very bold, buddy.
The Rams, baby. Rams, man. Rams defense is good, man.
They're good. I don't know about under, though. I mean, I just don't. How are you going to put points on the board if Cooper Rush has to throw the ball? I mean,
I think they're just going to go 3 and out a lot, man.
Yeah. That's what you're hoping for.
I can't go the full total on the totals.
No, me either. Because this could be like a 35-9 game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I literally said that exact score to one of my clients. He's like, really? And I go, dude, I pushed this to 10. I mean, that's how much I love this game. It's by far my number 1 game this week.
Yeah, I would give 9.5 on this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're getting a nice number.
With that in mind, let's take a short break with a word from our sponsor. Hey guys, I'm Steve Shellman, the founder of Prop Juice. Head on over and get your live odds boards over at Skybox Sports Network. You can get 10% off your live odds boards or your sports tickers over at Skybox Sports Network. Available on Amazon and on their website. You can check out all the latest odds. Right here, we got player props. Washington Commanders. Live right now, Jaden Daniels, over 228 passing yards, -115. You think he's going to go over? What about Jordan Love? He's over 234, -115. You think he's going to go over? Check out your odds all day long. We got receiving props. We got wide receiver, longest rush or rushing props for running backs, and wide receiver props, longest pass, receptions, receiving yards. We got all the odds from NCAA football, the NFL, MLB, WNBA, NHL. It's all available right here on your live odds board. Get your live odds board from Skybox Sports Network. Get 10% off with code PROPJUICE at checkout. Get your best bet at Prop Juice. Go check out the best price from Skybox Sports Network. Get your odds board at Skybox Sports Network. Okay, Brian, we're back. Let's break down the Colts-Cards matchup next. I don't know where to start in this one. I mean, I think the story coming in should be how great the Colts are playing, but I think the attention is more on the worst meltdown in history of the NFL last week for the Cardinals, right? I mean, I can't imagine what anybody else is talking about. I mean, DeMercado drops the ball on the 1-inch line going in for a touchdown. Then the coach loses it on the sideline. He got fined this week. And then they end up losing the game after Ward throws an interception, but then it's fumbled by the quarterback for a Titans touchdown. I mean, they look like a bunch of misfits out there, right? Murray didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. The Colts destroyed the Raiders last week, 40-6. I mean, they were aided by Geno's picks, but Jones had 2 touchdowns, 212 yards. I mean, can the Cards rebound from this, or do the Colts keep rolling, baby?
I think the Colts, I like them a lot. Without Kyler Murray especially, I just think this is going to be Danny Dimes tossing.
Ravens. Watch, the Ravens and the Cards are going to win this week, and we're going to be like, what the heck's going on?
It's not happening. I mean, like, I lost 2 big games last week, and both of them I should have won. And that was the Rams, and that was the Cardinals. I mean, that's it. I thought I would have been rich, one of the greatest weekends. Yeah. I could have had one of the greatest weekends ever, man. And it was like, and I'm even watching it in Spanish because I was laid up in the hotel room. And I'm like, my Spanish isn't that great. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I got to suffer through this. And then I lose the Rams game and knock me out of all my Circus Survivors when I'm thinking, I'm set up nice for the rest of this. I was thinking like I could go very, very deep in this thing again. But I think it's the Colts. I think, I just like Taylor, their defense is beat up. I don't know how Arizona's going to score points. If Kyler doesn't play, you're going to go with Jacoby Brissett, which, I mean, he's as inconsistent as a quarterback could be. I don't know. This just feels really, really, really.
If they don't have a running back, I mean, Connor's out.
No running back. Connor's out. And Cedric Benson, both. So, yeah, I just think this is a bad game for them. And I think the woes of last week are going to weigh on them, this week as well. I mean, listen, I know they find the coach, and I saw, a clip of what happened on the sideline. But you know what, man? This is NFL football. You're professionals. I wouldn't even expect a Pop Warner kid, to do this, or a high school kid to do this. I mean, and what's the reason for it? I've seen this happen, and it does happen, usually like once a year or once every couple of years, you see some idiot do this. And I just don't get it. Why? Especially someone like Mercado who's looking for snaps. I mean, dude, you're trying out for a job. This is your interview, and you do something like that. I don't know. I think the coach was, every bit within his right. I would have went absolutely ballistic because it all melted down from there. So, I like Colts. What's AI like? There's no surprise here, right?
I mean, everybody's all up in arms at the coach. This is professional football, guys. I mean,
that's right.
This guy just lost a lot of money for him, for the coach, for the other guy's family. I mean, potentially, right? I mean, you get judged on wins and losses in this league, man. And so for you to be that selfish, to showboat that much that you're willing to give away a game just so you look cool, I mean, I think he should have gotten chewed out as much as he could have, man. I mean, Bruce Arians was like, I don't know what the big deal was.
I would have set him down. I mean, I would have set him down. Unfortunately, they had no other backs. Like, what are you going to do? Bring in Adam Sandler? You're bringing the water boy in? I mean, it was terrible. And the sad part it's just foolishness. It's showboating bullshit. And, I was never so disgusted. I'm glad I wasn't at home because I didn't have to buy new remotes. I was in a hotel room.
I was so upset at that game. I just couldn't believe it. It was the last straw, man. It was killing my parlays. I just looked at the Cardinals got 3 offensive linemen out too.
I know it.
I mean, 3 of them questionable. They got a knee, a hamstring, and then one of them was just out for rest. But you got 3 offensive linemen out on a practice day, man, with a backup quarterback. I mean, that does not. I know. Yeah, the AI totally has the Colts in this one. We got, again, the power rank ELO type of model, which is focused on, teams' rankings where they are. Cardinals are coming down after losses, but they're still kind of middle of the pack to upper middle of the pack this season because they've been playing pretty well, and, they're a pretty decent team. So our power rank has them with a minus 5 spread. So we got Colts -5, and then everything else is minus 12, minus 10, minus 11, minus 10, minus 14, minus 8. So our consensus spread is minus 10. So you could push this to 9.5 probably without an issue. And if Kyler Murray's out, 3 offensive linemen and no running back, I mean, yeah, they got Marvin Harrison who drops balls and Trey McBride, but from Jacoby Brissett, I don't know. Against this defense too, the Colts defense is a good defense, man.
Yeah. What's wild is that game was pretty much 7.5 everywhere, and I've noticed Caesars came down to 7. I'm just looking at Skybox here. DraftKings is 7. FanDuel's at 7. BetMGM is at 7. So it's really just Fanatics that's at 7.5. I see that line moving. And actually Caesars is only minus 105 at 7. No, I'm sorry, it's 118.
I was gonna say I'd jump on that right now.
Yeah, I had to double take a look at that because I was like, is that 105? No, it's 118. On the Colts at 7 though. I like 7. I like 7 a lot actually. So
I think the Colts is. Let me check this real quick. Another way to play this is the Colts team total. Again, if you don't know if you want to play the totals, but you're not sure if the Cardinals are going to put up points or not, the Colts team totals is at 27.5. And so I've got one model, that ELO model, where they're at 25, but every other model I got 32, 30, 33, 30, 31. So almost every other model I have them scoring over 30 points. So you could probably do, and if you wanted to just, hedge a little bit, you go over 25 to make sure you get past our lower model here, over 24.5, minus 6.5, hedge on the 2 hooks right there. That's a nice little 2-leg parlay that, $100 on that.
But you also got both. And I think Danny Dimes is going to have a great week because you got both Melton and Will Johnson both corners are out. They're questionable, but they didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. So, these injuries.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if both those guys don't play, man, the Colts could have a big game. And so could Daniel Jones. I tweeted this out. I tweeted this out talking about Daniel Jones and being a Raider fan. And, how is Daniel Jones not, I asked my source inside the Raiders, and he was like, Pete Carroll felt comfortable that, Geno Smith. Geno's just been terrible this year. Leading the league in interceptions. He just looks off. But, I guess Carroll kind of thought, well, he knows the offense. He played underneath him in Seattle. It's just a better fit so that they can win now with all the young talent they have. Jonty's, since he's gone upright, he's really looking, like the back I thought he was going to be. We talked about this, at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
Why does a stance matter? The whole Michael Myers.
You know what, though? I think it's just a comfortableness. Yeah. A lot of people, I saw that like, well, who cares? No, but it's about being comfortable. It's about being comfortable and taking the ball because when you got to come up and it's just one more action that you don't have to take. And he can also keep his eyes, I think, more focused downfield and see, some of those position blocks that he can get around. But, I just can't believe that Daniel Jones is not wearing a Raiders uniform. He was available. A deal could have been made. They let him go. He was the perfect fit.
You wonder if Brady had
the Raiders
about that too, though.
I think if Brady had more to say, Daniel Jones would be wearing a Raiders. I can tell you what, if I was consulting with that team.
What about for last year? I don't know.
Yeah. If I was consulting with his team, I would have made a play because I liked him, the Giants. We talked about this several times on these podcasts, man. You can't blame his performance. The Giants were terrible. They had no offensive line. That guy was on his back consistently. And now you're getting to see. Now everyone's like, whoa, Daniel Jones. I'm like, I said it last year.
Yeah. I just can't believe how great he's playing, man. He's playing out of his mind this year. So, all right, well, let's move on to the next game. Let's go over to the Dallas-Carolina game where somebody else is playing out of his mind. Dak's playing out of his mind. Some suggesting him as the front runner for the MVP, even though Baker has really been,
here with that.
He's got to be the front runner right now. But a lot of people are saying, hey, if Baker wasn't playing the way he was and wasn't 4-1, Dak would be a nice little top front runner here. He threw for 237 and 4 touchdowns against the Jets. It was the Jets, but still, no CeeDee Lamb, but Pickens really picked up the slack. I think he's been great. They've actually established a decent running game too with Javonte Williams. So, meanwhile, Carolina Panthers are quiet 2-3. I mean, they blew out the Falcons 30-0 a few weeks ago, right? And then they were down big against the Dolphins, and they came back. I mean, I was really impressed with them being able to come back. They lost to the Cardinals, but they scored 22 in that contest. And Young threw for 328 in that one. So, they pound you with Hubbard and Dowdle now, that 1-2 combo, and Bryce, with that play action and shotgun game can get the ball down to his receivers. So I think this is kind of like a high-scoring game between these two teams. What do you think, Brian?
I'm going to give you the asterisk because I think I've talked extensively about Dak. It's Dak being Dak. He's an average NFL quarterback. But this is why his stats are so inflated. And I just had this lengthy conversation with one of my private clients. When you're down 14, 20, you have no choice but to throw the ball. And he's been launching the ball. He's had more pass attempts than ever. You also they played the best game I think ever against the Eagles. They came back in that. The Giants are terrible. They beat them by 3. You know what I mean? That was a 64-yard field goal to get into overtime even to win. And that was 40-37. So he had to put up a bunch.
450 yards on them.
Exactly. And then the Bears game, the Bears aren't the greatest defensive either. Then they played the Packers to a tie 40-40, but what were they down? 14, maybe even 17 in that game. So Dak's been forced. And then the Jets are terrible. And so they put up 37. But all of these
there's something wrong with the Jets, though, man,
for Dak.
Fields is playing great, man. He's throwing for 250 yards, and he's got 2 touchdowns in every game, and he hasn't really turned the ball over. It's like, how come they can't win? But anyway,
they're just not. They got a lot of missing pieces. Yeah, I mean, I just think Dak's numbers are heavily inflated. I saw someone tweet that about MVP, and I go, just stop it. I mean, if you don't know anything about football, you understand that the only reason his stats look like that is because they're down huge in every game, and he's got to throw the ball up, and they have no running game. So what do you want to do? I mean, how are you going to score points? You got to throw the ball. Get out of here with Dak. Dallas will never win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott ever. I said it the year that he was drafted, and I say it again.
Do they win this Carolina game? All
right. That all being said, they're going to beat Carolina, but I don't like it a lot. I can tell you the line went to 3. I think it was 3.5 or opened at 3.5. I think they're still. Let me just look at Skybox real quick, see if anything's changed.
I don't like
it's 3.
Man. I don't like this game either.
Yeah, it's 3. The only one is DraftKings has 3.5. Everybody else, BetMGM, FanDuel, Caesars, Sugar High, everyone is 3, and there's a reason for that. Because they're not reliable. CeeDee Lamb's hurt. I mean, Pickens, everyone's like, oh, Pickens is, he's really starting to come on. No, he's the only target that they have. I mean, what do you want to do? That's what they have to throw to. So anyway, I like this. I don't like the game a lot, but I'm going to take Dallas begrudgingly, -3, just because I think Carolina is just not that good. So anyway, I don't know what AI is going to say. This was the one I was waiting for the most. Because I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if AI picks Carolina. So what do you got?
You're correct. So
really,
the AI is mixed. So let me walk you through it. So if you look at our money line right here, it says Carolina wins this game, but it's only a 0.51 probability. And there's 3 models that say Carolina doesn't win this game. Only 2 models say that they do. When you look at the spread, we got one spread that says Carolina wins by 2. Yeah, by 2 points. All the other spreads say Dallas wins. So that's what's confusing about this game. Every other spread says Dallas by 1, Dallas by 9. That's weird, right? Dallas by 2, Dallas by 1, Dallas by 2.5, Dallas by 2. So what that tells you, though, is that a cover on this for Carolina is highly likely. And so I'm likely to go Carolina plus 3.5 on this game.
Wow. So let's look at the injury report for Dallas, because I thought this was almost as bad as Baltimore. Booker, Guyton, Smith, all on the line. One of them's concussion, so I doubt Guyton even plays. Booker didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. Then you have 2 safeties. You have Donovan Wilson, as well as Thomas are both out. Keeneland, questionable defensive end. Houston defensive end, questionable. Sanborn linebacker, questionable. Trayvon Diggs, questionable. He didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, and that knee looked a little bit more. And then Duron Bland. So you got both starting corners with Diggs and Bland, both questionable, and probably I would say Diggs is more doubtful. And then Jadeveon Clowney is also questionable. So listen, I told everyone that wanted to hammer this game because of Carolina, you better be a little bit more careful than you think. I don't like this game. I'm not playing this game. I'm not taking Dallas even money line in this game. And if I used them on any like little small crazy, I do some 10, 12, 13 teamers for fun. I would take Carolina.
All right, I was looking up the Carolina injury status too. I didn't know if Hubbard practiced today.
Yeah, when we pulled these games, Steve, I was like, ugh. You know, the more I looked, I mean, I took Dallas just because I think Carolina just struggles, you know, in many areas of the game. They're just not very good. But I tell you what, with the amount of injuries that's happening, the only reason I can't even believe I'm saying this because I'm such not a Dak Prescott fan is Dak would have to have a huge game and throw for a ton of yards. And, you know, we know he can do that, especially if they get down early. But this, you know what this feels like? This feels to me like all of the overs are going to get sunk and it's going to be like 16-9 or something.
Yeah, possible.
I mean, but there's so many safeties and corners and everyone out that you know, the guys that are playing, you know, you might have two guys from the practice squad, you know, that are called up that have to come in. So it could be one or the other. It could be just like they can't score other team, or the corners are so bad that they just get blitzed and, you know, Dak throws for 400. You know, they put up a 40 spot on Carolina.
Yeah, the injuries make this game so intriguing, though, man. They get starting running back, but you got Rico Dowdle going up to play. You know, he's going to play the Cowboys, his old team, so he's got some motivation there. Got the corners out, and Dak's just throwing the ball like crazy, whether you think it's mediocre or not. He's throwing the ball like crazy, especially against mediocre
He's going to put up
against mediocre teams.
He's going to put up attempts for sure.
So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. I mean, it's a pretty intriguing game, though. Especially with the injuries. I got Cowboys 22-22, man, in one of my scores. You know, it's 22-22. It's basically a tie. But I got the Cowboys putting up, you know, more than 20 points. But Carolina as well putting up more than 20 points. So it's a pretty even game, man. It's a pretty even game. So, all right. So,
I'd rather flip a coin for $100 and put a $100 parlay with either one of these teams.
Agreed.
I mean, forced. I take the Dallas -3, but that's a complete forced job, and I'm not playing the game.
All right, reminder that From the Cave, Man vs. Machine, sponsored by Prop Juice, squeezing profits out of every wager. It's AI worth the squeeze. Sign up at propjuice.ai and get that platinum level subscription to be able to break down all the models and get all the signals for making your parlays and choosing the best winners at propjuice.ai. Prop Juice is AI worth the squeeze. Okay, so let's go to our dog of the week, Brian. So who you got as our dog of the week? Who's your dog, baby?
So remember in the first podcast we did at the beginning of the year, I made a bold statement and said KC don't make the playoffs. And I also said the Lions weren't going to make the playoffs because of the coordinators. And I have no problem saying when I'm wrong. After week 1 is when I included the Lions and not making the playoffs. Preseason, I said KC won't make the playoffs, and I firmly believe that KC and Baltimore both are done. They're not going to be in the playoffs this year, which is amazing. But I gotta say I was wrong about the Lions because they reversed this ship, and I'm telling you, they look fantastic. And I will tell you that I love this Lions game. The Rams was my number 1 selection this week. The Lions are my second one. I can't believe they're giving me points. I'm taking money line. They don't need the points. They're going to beat KC in KC. And I think the Lions are at the top of the NFL right now. And I completely was wrong after week 1 Green Bay game. And you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for that Green Bay Detroit second matchup of the year. I think you're going to see a completely different team. I think the coordinators are coming.
A completely different game.
Yeah, I think the coordinators are coming together now. I think the team, if Gibbs and Montgomery both stay healthy and Goff stays healthy, Amon St. Brown might be having a career year. I mean, he just looks absolutely fantastic. Hutch is healthy, and I mean, he's just been beastly. And you know, I really think, you know, Laporta is just a mainstay. I just really think he's that emergency outlet for Goff, because, you know, Goff's not a big runner. I wish he was, because Casey's given up, like, I think second worst in the NFL, you know, quarterback rushing yards. And we know Goff don't run. He runs almost as bad as Brady. So anyway, I like the Lions here. You know, it's 2.5, I think, is a gift. I took money line. I was just seeing if anything else jumped up, you know, any steam going one way or the other. And, but anyway, this is my dog of the week. I love the Lions. I'm glad it's a Sunday night game. I can focus just on this game. And the Lions are a team to reckon with this year, you know.
Now, the KC does get Rashee Rice back this week, so that's going to be a new add to their offense. I'm sure they're going to work through that. I'm sure they're pissed off about losing in Jacksonville. That's really the only thing that gives me a little hesitation in this game, though. Are those two things: Rashee Rice
and being an Arrowhead.
Yeah, they're at home.
Being an Arrowhead, you know, that
home.
Stadium's allowed us in the NFL, man, and it's, you know, it's outside. You know, like the Lions are a much better team, you know,
inside,
with their speed inside. Yeah. So anyway, what's the AI pick for this game? It's got KC, doesn't it?
The Lions 0.8 probability to win this game on the money line. I mean, there's one model money line. Oh, that's the market that says they're not going to win this game. Everything else is 0.52, 0.82, 0.93, 0.92, and 0.80 are our probabilities on our money lines. I mean, that's just crazy. Yeah. And then plus 2.5.
No moves.
Clears no problem. Our consensus spread is minus 7.6. Our largest spread is minus 10.
I like the Lions. I mean, I like money line.
I mean, I definitely
quite a bit.
I love plus 3.5 on a ton of parlays, right? I have no, you know, usually you're kind of concerned about those games that are really close, like a 2-3 point game, right? And so you're nervous about putting those on parlays. I got no problem. I'm just going to buy a point on Detroit and buy that whole field goal and just put on every parlay I got. I can't see them losing by more than a field goal at the worst, right?
Right.
I mean,
my only question was
KC wins close games. They don't win but they don't win by 14. When they win by 30 or 7. You know?
Yeah.
So I mean, plus the only on Detroit, I might put $1,000 on that, man. I mean, that's like
I have Lions money line. I was just looking at all the parlays I've played so far. I have them on quite a few. You know, the crazy part is, after that opening week against the Panthers, they scored 13 points. They've scored 52, 38, 34, 37. Now, it is the Bengals. You know, the Browns defense is good. Ravens defense, that was before they were depleted. So they're good. The Bears defense is not that great. And the Packers defense is good, very good. So, you know, like I don't want to go crazy. The first game
out of the gate with new coordinators.
It was with 2 new coordinators. I think they were unfocused. I don't think that they were quite set. I don't think the offense didn't seem very cohesive. You know, the offensive line play was terrible. Remember, Goff was pressured like that whole game. And Green Bay's defense, you know, is one of the top in the NFL. So anyway, I think they're turning the corner, and I got to eat a little crow. You know, my brother's just been ragging me since I said Lions aren't making the playoffs. Anyway, he's been ragging me, and I finally told him, I go, you know what? I missed it. I was absolutely 100% wrong. And I think the Lions are, you know, they're a top 5 team in the NFL without a doubt.
Yeah. So, okay. So what do we agree on and disagree on? I don't think we disagree on anything, really.
We got
the Pats.
I mean, Carolina, Dallas. Pats.
But we both think Carolina could make this an interesting, close game, closer than the experts agree necessarily. So Carolina could cover this game, definitely with a 7.5, probably. I don't think Dallas blows them out. So Pats money line, maybe even Pats minus 2.5. We got the Lions beating the Chiefs, definitely taking 2.5 on that if we need it. We got
we agree.
We got the Rams whooping up on the Ravens, right?
And the Colts beating the Cardinals.
We're beating the Cardinals, man.
Wow.
So we're all
a first, huh?
Yeah.
We should make some money if AI and myself are
This
agreeing
is
on,
like
on
week
the 4
one.
games.
Week one, we kind of agreed on everything. So
and we crushed, remember?
Yeah, I know. So let's knock on.
I'm
some
still
wood
living
here.
on that money.
Right? Oh, gosh. Okay, guys. Remember, you can get these data-backed model-driven insights all season long. Sign up at propjuice.ai. Participate in our service. Cancel at any time. Come see what propjuice.ai has to offer and give us some feedback. Come sync all your bets across your favorite sports books like FanDuel and MGM and Caesars. Track how you perform each week on NFL bet types. We got the NBA coming soon, baby. We're launching NBA here on October 21st, so come check that out. So that's coming soon. Don't forget to get your ticker for your man cave, your sports bar. Just go to Amazon, have one delivered right to your doorstep, right? Use Amazon Prime. Use that discount code PropJuice at checkout. Get 10% off your purchase over there. A lot of our customers and Prop Juice users have been using that 10% discount over there at Skybox and been posting all their cool odds boards and tickers online. We're loving to see them there. So a reminder, spread the word, like the channel, come back next week from the cave. Man versus machine pits expert capper Brian Reiner against the PropJuice.ai data-backed machine. Catch next week's episode on Thursday before kickoff to week 7. Again, I had a great time talking ball. I'm so glad that you're healthy and back in the States, Brian. Give us a shout out. What's on your mind going into the weekend here?
Yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow, so we're gonna celebrate a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna go have a little fun. I'm gonna gimp around a little bit. I haven't had a nice meal. I ate like a king over there until the accident. But it's the greatest seafood in the world. I don't know if anyone out there that listens to the pod, you ever get a chance to go to Chile? It's a beautiful country, and the seafood is by far some of the best there is out there. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the weekend. There's some great games this week. I spent a lot of time naturally on planes the last week. And I got to spend a lot of time dissecting a lot of the games, and the injuries. I think take a look at them, guys. I mean, I think if there's one word of caution, the injuries are going to have a big effect on a lot of these games this weekend. But it's a great slate. I mean, I think last week it was. I didn't like a lot of games. I just I'm pretty selective with my plays. My private clients bet very large money, and I treat it like it's my own, and I had them stay away from a lot of games that we could have got beat up pretty bad. So anyway, I think it's a great slate this week. I think there's some fantastic games to watch. I think the Detroit KC game is going to be absolutely fantastic. So I think there's some advantages you can take on some of these lines right now. And yeah, let's have a big weekend, man. Let's go back to like that week 1-2 where we just absolutely crushed. So yeah, great to be back, buddy.
In the spirit of your jersey right there, just win, baby. All right, let's
win, baby.
Come on, Drake May, let's get our win in New Orleans, baby. All right, we're signing off. We'll see you guys next week on From the Cave, Man versus Machine. Y'all have a great weekend. Just win, baby.